Greetings from outside the Colorado State Capitol in Denver. Today is Monday, November 7th, 2022. It is 10:13 a.m. Mountain Time. Like I said, right in front of us, that is the Colorado State Capitol building. And then surrounding us and behind us is Civic Center Park. There's a monument right here. And then I have explored some of the park in previous wintertime videos, so you can check that out, but those were during the evening. This is actually my first time being able to look at portions of downtown Denver in the daytime. Previously, I've only been able to have layovers in the evening, or the layovers have been so short that I couldn't come to downtown Denver during the day. But this layover should be, well, like I said, it's around 10:15 a.m. My flight leaves around 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time, so I'll try to get back to the airport in about 3 hours. That should give me 2 hours to do some exploring. Let me go ahead and cross the street here and get a little bit closer to the Capitol building. The main objective of this video is actually going to be to look at Colfax Avenue, which is over there, and I'll explain more about that in a second. It's always nice to get centered, straight-on shots. Says the Centennial State, established in 1876. I'm actually going to stand right here because the tree is blocking out the sun. Colorado for all. I assume you can probably go inside the state capitol and there's probably a public display. I'm just guessing because I've seen that in other state capitals, like in Utah. But the main purpose of today's video is that I wanted to show off Colfax Avenue. Now Colfax, to give some perspective, we're at the state capitol now, but the heart of downtown Denver is that way, including Union Station, where I came from after getting the train from the airport. The train takes about 45 minutes to get to Union Station, and I actually just walked all the way over here, even though I could have taken the trolley. But Colfax extends going both ways. That way would be considered the western part of Colfax once you leave downtown. But then this way is the eastern part. And I'm probably going to cross over at some point to the other side. But for now, I'll stay on the state capitol side. I've done videos in downtown Denver before in the evening time, mostly on 16th Street, which is one main street over that way. And then the main street over there would be 14th, so Colfax is technically 15th, but they don't call it 15th. So hopefully that gives some perspective if you've watched any of my Denver videos before. Last time I was in Denver on a layover, I explored a little bit of the area west of downtown Denver, crossing a little bit of a bridge. But then I came back and walked down 16th Street. There was a bunch of construction. And then after I had stopped filming, I was looking at Google Maps. In an area on 16th Street, there was a group of 4 teenagers somewhat near me, 30 feet away. And all of a sudden, this vagrant looking guy came up. Seemed like he was gonna try to go up to me at first, but then I sort of maneuvered around and he stopped in front of the teenagers, and the next thing I know, he pulled a metal rod out and swung it at their heads. So as soon as I saw that, I just took off running. I tried to stay away from 16th this time, because I have read that is a heavy crime/homeless population area, unfortunately. Even though it's supposed to be like the most popular street in the downtown portion. But Colfax is known for having a lot of unique and local shops. Like, for example, right here we've got Capitol Hill Books. Later on, if they're open, which I think they are, we're going to check out another bookstore and maybe even pop inside of it. When I was looking at the hours online, a lot of these places, the hours showed that it would open at 10 a.m. Put me in the zoo. $7 for one of the Dr. Seuss books. That's in the kids section. You can see across the street City Grill, but I don't know if all these places are open. Like that one across the street says City Grill, Denver's best burger, and next to that says donuts, pizza, and more. Oh, and one of the things we should be keen on is, I don't know how much on the eastern side of Colfax that we'll see murals, but there are murals that exist, at least on the western part, but like I said, we're going toward the eastern part of Colfax. Supposedly, at 26.5 miles, this is supposed to be the longest, wickedest street in America. And I think there was another site that I saw that specifically mentioned that it's the longest commercial street in the USA, after first appearing on Denver maps in 1868. And that's, I guess, Playboy's the one that referenced Colfax as the longest, wickedest street in America. Today, the street is lined with an electric mix of eateries, bars, brew pubs, and shops, as well as entertainment and live music venues. Pretty massive church on the left. So far, a lot of places seem to be closed, although they also say like dive bar or corner store, so maybe they're still open and it's just hard to tell. I don't know, but when you see like a storefront like this, do you think that they're open? I think we're going to go ahead and cross over here. Let's see. It is a beautiful weather day, about 50 degrees. So I have a light t-shirt and kind of a puffy jacket on. Here's one of the 15 buses that goes to Union Station in downtown, apparently. My perception is that as you get further east, I mean, we'll see if my perception's wrong. My perception is as we keep going further east, that we'll see less vacancies. I got across the street, looks like an Office Depot. I didn't know those still existed. Entire store up to 50% off. Here's Tom's Starlight, place for brunch. Doesn't look like they're open right now, maybe on weekends only. Yeah, so earlier I was talking about in downtown Denver how I had that incident on 16th Street on a previous layover in the evening. So I walked down 17th Street in order to get to Colfax this time around. And I was initially going to start the video earlier. We got an adult store, Dom and Equality. Yeah, I was initially going to start the video earlier and just like show the walk up to Colfax, but on 17th, like everywhere, it was just 80% of the people who were out were homeless. You know, one of them was even like jumping out and trying to, I don't know if they were trying to jump out in front of the camera or jump out in front of me, but they were like saying gibberish or whatever, and I just continued walking. There's Slice Works. And we have a mural right here. Streets are for the people. And then across the street, Argonaut Wine and Liquor. Some more kind of street art in the murals. Given my experiences in Denver, though, not too keen on walking down alleyways. I can't tell since I'm right up to it. Is this the Ogden Theater that I'm below? Oh no, that's the One Up Arcade. Like the One Up Arcade was listed as a popular place online, but I just from the outside of this, I can't even tell if it's open or not. This looks pretty cool, like 3 turtles playing. Go ahead and hurry up for this one. Across the street you've got a Good Times Burgers and frozen custards, although, you know, who knows again if these places are open. Oh, you know what? I missed... Got some artwork on the side of the building related to musicians. And then this is the 20th anniversary of the Fillmore Auditorium. I assume that there's musical performances and shows there. So just based on my perspective of seeing other cities, Colfax, at least the portion I'm walking on, isn't something I would advise tourists to really do, like as far as a walking tour. That's not to say there aren't individual shops and places that you should go to, maybe if you're renting a car. But yeah, like, it's not something like you're gonna walk down and be like, oh, this is a great authentic experience. If you're a local in Denver, I'm sure, you know, a lot of the places have more applicability. But from a visitor, you know, I've seen much more, and I don't even want to say tourist, because I'm not looking for tourist stuff, but like, it's not something that stands out as super memorable right now. Maybe my perception will be changed as we keep going, though. And I still like exploring nonetheless. That's not to say I'm not enjoying myself. Just trying to give a little bit of context of what's going through my mind as I'm walking. Up here is the Ogden Theater, not Ogden, Utah, where I was just at the other day, but the Ogden Theater in Denver. I know this is active, and there are quite a few shows that still take place here. You can see a full calendar of shows. Let's see here. So if today is, well, this is the October schedule, so I can't look at what's on for November, but October was fully booked for the whole month. My goal for this video walk was to check out at least two places. There's supposed to be a pretty cool donut shop that makes unique shaped and sized donuts with themes. And then there's also that bookstore I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And then the third thing was, as I keep on walking, I should be running into City Park, which connects to some type of museum as well as the Denver Zoo. I'm not going to go to the zoo, but City Park should be pleasant to look at and provide some nice views of the downtown Denver skyline. But then again, anytime you go into a park, you think more to yourself about, well, how many homeless people are going to be there. You know, especially if downtown Denver, you know, had a significant problem. Is it going to be safe there? I tried to research online. There didn't seem to be an overwhelming concern about safety in City Park during the daytime. So we'll see how it goes. Some type of big construction project going on across the street, digging down into the ground. So this whole walk that I was going to do was going to be about 45 minutes down Colfax, although I feel like I'm making a decent pace. Just an observation, like right here, like bang, the architecture on these buildings looks different, more current. We'll see if that continues or if it was just this particular block. But it was almost as if like my surroundings snapped into a different location of the city. It's like there's some type of ice cream shop over there under the Rosenstock place. Alright, the donut shop that I want to see is actually coming up in about 1 or 2 blocks, and it's on the other side of the street. And like I said, for the moment I'm going to stick by what I said. Once I mentioned like, oh, I see a pretty significant change in the scenery and like the buildings looking more modern and alive. You know, so far this next couple of blocks have been similar. We got a pizza place here, the Pizza Denver, the PZA. They sell pizza by the slice. And then over there is where I want to go, Voodoo Donuts. I need to figure out a way to cross. Looks like I have to go up to this next intersection and make my way back. Interesting crosswalk, like a big, huge diagonal at Franklin Street and Colfax Avenue. This Colfax indicates it's the 1500 North block of Colfax. I just yelled losers for whatever reason. Alright, so let's see here on the outside. Voodoo Donuts. The Homer. Is that the for Homer Simpson? I saw that earlier. It caught my eye. Take a look at some of these donuts going around. Alright, I got 2 donuts, sprinkled cake donut and the Homer. The Homer I asked, they said it's more just it's like a strawberry donut, but if for nothing more, I will say just this donut shop alone made me happy for coming out and exploring Colfax. See, that's one of the important reasons why, like, when I look up a space or section of the city that I haven't explored before, if I'm going to go there for the first time, you know, I want to find like at least one or two spots that I'm going to stop at and kind of make that like memorable experience. And I had read that Voodoo was a very unique place, so hopefully some of the short video clips I showed captured that. I try not to film the whole thing because they had music playing inside, but hopefully it was good enough still. So the next main thing that I want to see is that bookstore, which I believe, when I did a little bit of light reading, is located inside of like an old theater and the space is repurposed. So if I'm able to, I'll try to splice together a few clips inside there as well. Probably like 8 to 10 blocks away from where I'm at now. So still got a little bit of walking to do. See, now we're back to a stretch where it's like kind of, I don't know. I promise, you know, if you're a Denver resident, I'm not trying to knock your city. Previous videos, there's aspects of Denver that I thought were really cool and I've commented on, especially during the holiday season. Still a bit early in early November for them to have their Christmas decorations up in downtown. One thing to bear in mind though, Colfax is supposed to be like 26 miles long. I'm only seeing a very small subset of that space.
Might be able to find somebody over there.
There you got some actual stores to comment on here. Pampered Paws Grooming Salon. Convenience Mart. Up ahead looks like there's a lounge of some kind. And there's a Husky. Pete's Kitchen, open 24 hours, and it's actually lit up, so it should be open. And they've got some outdoor seating. Pete's Kitchen looks like a pretty cool place. Looks like it's got a good crowd inside too. Now I'm starting to see more staggered areas of Colfax. It's like you've got one or two blocks that are in improved condition with active businesses, then all of a sudden you've got a lull for a couple blocks, and then it resumes. Believe me, anywhere I'm walking to, I'm definitely staying alert. I don't know what else the guy was saying, but he was the guy on the right. I don't know if I got him on camera, but he was saying GoPro walking tour. You know, because my device that I film with kind of looks like a GoPro. See, a street like that looks nice, doesn't it? The gas station up on a higher driveway. It's kind of unusual to see it raised up like that. It's good to know that the 15 bus runs down the street though, because on the way back I'll probably hitch a ride on that. Oddities and tattoos. See, these are more of the stores I was hoping to see. Where you've got, you know, you can't really see into the window, but there's like a Christmas tree in there with different type of ornaments. Here's the Urban Cookie. Smith and Cannon ice cream shop. Some of these places open at 11, which it might be that time in a few minutes. But yeah, once again we've transformed. It's like I feel like I'm in a different neighborhood every couple of blocks here. Although these past 2 blocks and the ones coming up kind of look even more recent development in terms of improved buildings. Like that recreation center over there. Looks new, doesn't it? Carla Madison Recreation Center. Alright, let me try to check how close we are now to this bookstore place. Oh geez, I'm walking fast. I'm only like 2 blocks away here. And if they have a restroom there, that would be a nice extra bonus. Look at that, they got an outdoor rock climbing on the side of that recreation center, both on the ground level and upwards. The street seems to have gotten a lot wider toward this area of Colfax as well. And we're kind of near where City Park would be, like maybe 2 blocks that way. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Alright, the bookstore should be coming up soon because I know there's Sci Film Center. There's something significant about this film center, but I'm not sure what the public would do going into it. But here's the Tattered covered bookstore. And like I said, supposedly this was an old theater of some kind. It says please use other door. Oh, there's just the one right here. Before I go in, I'm going to try my Homer donut. Well, that was fun. Outside of Tattered cover. Again, sorry for not doing like more video inside, but you know, when people are, it was a very active place. There were a lot of people there, you know, checking out the books, looking at them. Well, when that's happening, I don't want to like disturb the peace, so to speak. As, you know, especially it's a private business. And they have a camera in people's faces as I'm walking around. It's different if it's outside in a public setting. So right now it's about 11:25 a.m. Mountain Time. No one coming? Yep, we can go ahead and cross. So we are going to go ahead and check out parts of City Park. So we're deviating from Colfax. And City Park is big and wide ranging. We're going down City Park Esplande, and it should take us into the Thatcher Mountain. We're actually going to pass by Denver East High School. That's what this building was that I saw earlier. So this is a high school on my right. But then once we get up to 17th Avenue, so that's about 2 blocks away, we'll be inside of City Park. Although I'm sure some of this grandeur is like the build up to City Park. And I think I should be on pretty good time to get back to the airport later. One thing about that bookstore though, on the level that I showed the video of, I was looking around like, where's the restrooms at? And finally I saw by the elevator sign and said, oh, take the elevator to the lower level, and it indicated that there would be restrooms down there, and then one level below that it said employees only. So I went on the elevator, went to the lower level, and like the whole damn floor was almost like pitch black, and there was no books or anything. I tried to follow the little map that they had and got me to an area that again was dark and had a sign that said like Denver film staff only. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to continue searching for the bathrooms down here. It was a pretty cool baseball diamond for the high school. Got a grass infield. Oh, I would have killed to play on a field like this, although I don't quite know what I'm like. It's the fence all the way out to center field would be like a baseball diamond, but there's like a, maybe that's a collapsible fence over there for like smaller little league kids. You know, because otherwise the fence right there is in the way of playing. It says they were state champions in 1951 and 1994. Is there any chance this thing's open? Yes, it was open. So that was a relief. Because that whole walk so far kind of needed to find a restroom. And look at this next to the baseball diamond too. They got batting cages, heavy duty pitching nets to protect the pitchers. Up to about 52 degrees right now. Not much wind. I haven't had to use gloves or anything like that the whole time. Alright, 17th Avenue, City Park. Now I don't know where the main entry to City Park is. For example, that little sign there that says City Park is pretty underwhelming. But I'm sure somewhere there's a more significant sign, because it is a very large park. And like I said, I believe all the way, if you went all the way to that end, like completely on the other side, I think that whole block, when I say block, it's like a span of what several blocks would normally be, is anchored by the Denver Zoo. Alright, do we have a crosswalk here? I think we do, but nothing's changing. I don't know who has the right of way. Maybe it's these cars exiting. There we go. They're doing up the street right now, like it's all graded. So that's why you can't see the crosswalk lines. So I don't know the recommended spots to go in City Park, other than I'm trying to pass by a certain lake and then get to a point called, what is it called again? The Meadow at City Park. Because supposedly the Meadow has the great view of the Denver skyline for downtown Denver, which I don't know how it's going to be, but we'll see, because right now I can't see the Denver skyline from here. I don't know if I'm going to be walking up on elevation. What is this that we're at? This is the Thatcher Fountain, even though the fountain's not currently active. And by that I mean it's not spewing water. So we're just gonna walk this path. Be a nice little fall walk. So far I don't see like homeless camps or a vagrant population. I hate to sometimes comment on that because I don't want to make it seem like I'm like, oh, I can stay away from them. But at the same note, if you're thinking about things that a visitor can come do and feel safe and comfortable with, or whether you need to be alert of your surroundings, I just like to point those things out. Further up ahead should be Farrell Lake. I think I can see it way in the distance from here, but it's not going to pick up on camera. Now I do see, like, anchored up against that wall over there, it looks like there's 1 or 2 homeless camps, but they aren't disturbing anyone. You could probably ride your bike on this trail, but it's more of a light gravel trail. I don't know if there is a smoother bicycle trail that exists in City Park. That tan-colored building is supposed to be City Park Pavilion. And then if we continue on this path here, this will lead us into the water, or along the water, at Farrell Lake. One thing to keep in mind again too, this is a Monday around 11:37 a.m. Mountain Time. So if people are working, I don't expect the park to be filled with a ton of people. I imagine during the evening or weekend hours, you probably see more activity. Looks like they have a swan boat station up here. This lake reminds me of Lake Ola in Orlando, downtown Orlando. Right here's probably one of the prettiest shots you'll see of the day, with the fall colors and the beautiful blue lake. I'll try to get a cell, even though I passed up all the fall colors.
Scary because
the winter conditions you don't know.
Let's say hi to some of the ducks, shall we? I get the feeling, I go, here I go again, a non-Denver resident trying to say things, but again, these are just my instincts. Get the feeling that Denver's such a massive city that you really have to kind of be immersed here for a bit to learn what the areas like to hang around and, you know, walk around and go places are. Doing it as just a quick tourist on a layover isn't going to do justice. This is supposed to be children's fountain. Still not quite sure when this skyline is going to come into view. It's not going to be towards the direction we're heading. Like, we're supposed to be going to a spot and then turn around and then we'll look at the skyline. But like, I see the mountains a little bit, but I don't see like downtown Denver. We'll see. We're getting pretty close to that spot that has the nice view, supposedly. So we're going to leave the lake area to get to this meadow. I guess this is like the meadow area. And they were trying to say to look out this way. See, the problem is that I did see earlier a little bit of it, the skyline. But from here, like, this would be the view. All the trees are blocking it. You gotta kind of be up closer to the lake again. I mean, I guess you could go further back into the meadow. But I don't think that's going to give you enough of a perspective over the trees. Oh well. Still a nice walk through City Park though. I think this building on the right here is the Denver Natural or Denver Museum of Nature and Space and History. See, now I want to be back by the water. Again, for some perspective, the Denver Zoo is occupied by like the land past those trees. You can start to see a little bit of buildings. So where you see like a little pyramid, that's like the edge of the zoo, and then it continues going forward that way toward whatever street that is. And it takes up, the zoo takes up like the entire block, so from like down there all the way to where we started. Now see here, you get a much better view of the skyline. Alright, see, this is going to be redeeming. I'm glad I cut through and kept filming. It looks like if you go, I don't know what corner you want to call this, but whatever corner of the lake Farrell that I'm walking to, that's where you get the nice view of the Denver skyline. I mean, granted, it's not really a iconic view of the skyline. You just see buildings that are included in Denver's skyline. It's not like a Seattle, New York, Cleveland, or Chicago in terms of skyline. So yes, I would very much advise to anyone looking for the nice view, just stay on the path that surrounds the water. And there you go, you get the buildings and trees reflecting a little bit into the water. The mountains in the background on the right. And I guess that's probably a good stopping point for our video, because you never know how long certain buses are going to take to get all the way back to Union Station. I am like if I were to walk all the way back to Union Station, it'd probably be close to an hour walk, and that is not what I'm aiming for, because the train takes then 45 to 50 minutes to get back to the airport. So if that was truly a 2-hour trip, I'd be getting back there around 2 o'clock with having to go through TSA still. So if you enjoyed this layover video on a beautiful day in Denver, Colorado, feel free to hit the like button. Give us a subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully we have some holiday content regarding the Christmas season coming up for the Cleveland, Ohio area soon, but also stay tuned to the rest of our channel, and we will see you next time. Some real quick bonus footage as I'm walking along here. You can see some type of animal. I don't know if it's a rhinoceros or an elephant. I think it's an elephant. Yeah, it's an elephant now that it turned. There's an elephant over there. So this is, like I said, the back area of the zoo that we're walking along.